I have the Gracey 1112 and the Gracey 1516 area-specific curets. These curets are typically considered mesial instruments. However, we do use them on the facial and mesial aspect, using the opposite working end for the lingual and mesial surfaces. You can choose either the 1112 or the 1516. They are used exactly the same, except for the 1516 has a more complex shank. In order to choose the correct working end, you take either one of these. There's a couple of different ways you can determine the correct working end. You can have the toe pointing distally to any tooth in the sextant. If the terminal shank is parallel to that tooth and the functional shank is up and over, that is one way to determine the correct working end. This is the 1112 though. You would take it out and you would quarter turn it so the proper cutting edge is to that tooth. Another way you can determine the correct working end is to have that toe pointing mesially as it's laying on the facial aspect, and you should really be seeing the back of the working end. If I were to test it and flip my working end and lay it down again where the toe is pointing mesially, I can see a lot of face. That would be the incorrect working end. Once you've determined that you have the correct working end, you're going to start at the distal line angle. You're going to use the get ready zone. You can tilt it for insertion, and you would close as you insert the working end below the gingival margin, and then you would open it back up. You would then walk across that entire facial surface. If you needed to do a calculus removal stroke, you would apply lateral pressure, wrist forearm, in a short biting stroke, and then you would continue on till you got to that mesial coal area, or halfway across that surface, and your terminal shank should then be parallel to that tooth. You would start most posteriorly and work towards the anterior. In other words, you would start back on 32 at that distal line angle and continue all the way until you got to 28. If you notice too, on the get ready zone for insertion, when you drop that handle, you're pretty much in a horizontal position, which is fine to do because it will allow you to get any calculus that's at that distal line angle.